Hello, Stanley. We haven't talked since the end of Start It Up. How have you been doing?
I've been doing good. Business has been good. Still very hopeful towards life.
Okay, a light-hearted question here. If your entrepreneurial journey were a movie, what genre would it be?
Very good question. I'd say maybe an action movie because of always trying to solve real world problems.
And who would play you as the lead role?
hmm I'd say Tom Cruise.
What's your source of inspiration or motivation when you're feeling stuck or demotivated?
Well, when I'm demotivated, I usually listen to some Afro music, but most of the time I also watch Coach Carter the movie.
Okay. So, how do you balance your work as an entrepreneur with your personal life and studies?
Well, I'd say that how I balance the two is that I when I'm doing a certain thing, I give my 100%. So when I'm with my family, I give 100. When I'm doing my business, I give 100, and that leads to a very balanced life. So in everything I'm doing at that moment, I will give 110% even.
Okay. So, what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur?
I'd definitely say the most enjoyable thing about being an entrepreneur is the satisfaction to solve real world problems. So, working with the farmers, be it producing organic products, healthy products, that's the most satisfying thing for me.
And what keeps you passionate about your work?
That's a good question. So I'd say definitely the social impact because my business, I really work with a lot of farmers, and it really keeps me motivated because I know that I'm not just doing this for me, but I'm doing it for my whole county and soon enough the whole country.
What's a skill or talent you've developed as an entrepreneur that you never expected to learn?
Mhm. I'd say the negotiation skill. So negotiating with suppliers, negotiating with the employees and everyone all around me. I think that's one skill that I've developed from being an entrepreneur.
Okay. So, what advice will you give to someone just starting their own business?
I'd say the one advice that I'd give is to be bold. Just take the risks as they come, because if you don't take the risks, you won't really achieve anything. But when you try, the worst that can happen is failure, and failure is still part of learning. You'll have learned something, and you'll be able to go to the next thing since you'll have learned.
Okay. And what advice would you give someone who is competing the GSEA this year?
Good question. So just the same as the entrepreneur one, I'd say dive into the deep end, swim with the sharks, and be very passionate about what you're doing, and be very authentic, and just know to tell your story.
Okay. And lastly, what is your favorite GSEA memory?
Good question. I'd say definitely the trip to South Africa and meeting my fellow competitors. That was one big highlight for my life, and that I will always cherish in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us.